Okay, so editor detect indentation controls whether editor tab size and editor insert spaces will be automatically detected when a file is opened based on file content. So you have two options here. You either automatically detect the tab size and like the tab size is how many spaces a tab represents, and then insert spaces is if it's actually the tab character or spaces, right? So if this is set to true, VS Code will automatically detect what kind of file you're using and keep using that same format. Or it will, if you set it to false, it will follow the rules of editor tab size and editor insert spaces. Now, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I want my code to be all the same. Um, I want to look at it all the same. I don't want to. So I want all tabs, and I want each tab to have 4 spaces. Um, a tab is one character. Even if it's 2 spaces, it's still 2 characters, so it's twice as much information that doesn't need to be there. If it's 4 spaces, then um, it's even, it's 1 byte against 4 bytes. So obviously use whatever you want. I'm going to use false here because I don't want this to be automatically detected. I want to force the setting. I want to force tabs, and I want to force tabs of 4 spaces, 4 spaces wide. So this setting works with tab size and insert spaces. Insert spaces is down here somewhere. What is it? There we go. So editor insert spaces. Insert spaces when pressing tab. This setting is overridden based on the file contents when if editor detect indentation is on. It's off, so the setting is not overridden, and I do not want to insert spaces. I want to always have tabs. And then this works with another setting, which is the tab size. So let's search for that, which is down here. And my tab size, this is by default set to 4. That's my perfect tab size. So whenever I insert a tab, it's going to be 4 spaces. So let me actually show you this working. So let's go back to detect indentation. And right now, if I use the arrows, you can see that we have 4 spaces here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But I can select these 4 spaces and press tab, and now we just have a tab, right? And this is what I want. I want that it's the same 4 spaces in terms of width, but it's now just one single character, and it shows the same, right? Visually it's the same thing, but it just takes more information on disk. Alright, so this is my recommendation. You can use whatever you want, especially if you're working in team. This might not be a very good idea, because especially when you're using automatic formatting, which we will eventually, and all spaces will, whatever, if it's 2 spaces or 4 spaces, everything will be converted to tabs. Now, there's ways to work around that, and we'll also get into that when you actually commit your code. And teams should follow these best practices. When you commit your code, you don't really care if you have spaces or tabs, as long as it's consistent, right? So it shouldn't really matter if you're doing things right in Git or whatever version control you're using. It shouldn't matter if you convert everything you see, if you automatically convert everything you see into tabs. But we'll get there eventually. But for now, this is my recommendation, and yeah, that's pretty much it.